Tzolk'in is the name bestowed by Mayanists on the 260-day Mesoamerican calendar originated by the Maya civilization of pre-Columbian Mesoamerica. The Tzolk'in, the basic cycle of the Maya calendar, is a preeminent component in the society and rituals of the ancient and the modern Maya. The Tzolk'in is still in use by several Maya communities in the Guatemalan highlands. Its use is marginal but spreading in this region, although opposition from evangelical Christian converts continues in some communities. The word Tzolk'in, meaning division of days, is a Western coinage in Yucatec Maya. There are various terms in actual use in the languages of Maya groups who have maintained an unbroken count for over 500 years. The K'iche' use the term Aj Alabal Qij or Raji Label Kij, the sense of the day, or the round of the days, and the Kaqchikal use the term Cholqij, the organization of time. The names of this calendar as used by the pre-Columbian Maya are not widely known. The corresponding post-classic Aztec calendar was called Tonalpo'uli in the Nahuatl language. The 20-day names. The Tzolk'in calendar combines a cycle of 20 named days with another cycle of 13 numbers, to produce 260 unique days. Each successive named day was numbered from 1 up to 13 and then starting again at 1. There were 20 individual named days, as shown in the table below. The Tzolk'in does not have a generally recognized start and end, although there are specific references in the books of Chilambalam to 1 Imix as the beginning day. Each of the 20 days has its specific primary association connected to the day name's meaning. Imix, crocodile, the reptilian body of the planet Earth, or world. Ik, wind, breath, life, also violence. Akbal, night house, darkness, the underworld, realm of the nocturnal jaguar sun. Kan, maize, sign of the young maize lord who brings abundance, ripeness. Also lizard, net. Chichen, snake, the celestial serpent. Chimi, death. Manuk, dare, sign of the lord of the hunt. Lamet, rabbit, sign of the planet Venus, sunset. The glyph may depict 4 grains of maize, invoked by the feminine name of Ixcanil, by Xquic. Muluk, water, symbolized by jade, an aspect of the water deities. Fish, invoked by the feminine name of Ixtoj, by Xquic. Oc, dog, who guides the night sun through the underworld. Chuen, monkey, the great craftsman, patron of arts and knowledge. Also thread. Ebb, grass or point, associated with rain and storms. Ben, reed, who fosters the growth of corn, cane, and man. Ix, jaguar, the night sun. Also maize, associated with the goddess Ixchel. Men, eagle, the wise one. Bird, moon. Cib, owl, vulture, death birds of night and day. Also wax, soul, insect. Kaban, earthquake, formidable power. Also season, thought. Etznib, knife, the obsidian sacrificial blade. Korak, rain or storm, the celestial dragon serpents and the Chaks, gods of thunder and lightning. Ahau, lord, the radiant sun god. Also associated with the Mayan hero twins. The variant names and associations below are common to 3 post-conquest Guatemalan highland calendars, whose interpretations are based primarily on an 1854 manuscript by Hernandez Spina. Amox is a bad day, associated with the insane, on which the priests of the sun pray that harm may come to their enemies through evil spirits. IQ is a bad day, symbolic in the same way of the destructive forces of nature. That power is localized in stone idols, who are honored with incense, roses, candles, pine needles, and aguardiente. Tumors and painful swellings are attributed to the influence of this day. Akabal is a bad day on which the priests of the sun go to shrines to pray against their enemies. The day is symbolic of evil in general and of slanderers in particular. Cat is a bad day in the same sense as Akabal, symbolic of evil in general. Can is a bad day. It brings sickness and is symbolic of the arbitrary cruelty of nature. Kame is recorded as a bad day by one 19th century source and as a good day by one 20th century source, Ruth Leah Bunzel. It is symbolic of the ultimate dissolution of everything good and everything evil by death. It is a good day to confess one's evil deeds, and ask for pardon. Kij is a good day on which wishes are made. It is a good day to ask favors and to commemorate ancestors. Canal is a good day, sacred to fertility gods, associated with human nourishment, the growth of crops, the cycle of death and rebirth, and of the milpa. After the harvest is completed, Thanksgiving is made on Canal. Toj is a bad day, symbolized by sickness, and anyone born on it will be perverse. It is a good day to wish sickness upon an enemy. Tzai is a bad day, symbolized by sexual depravity. No ceremonies must ever be held on this day. Bats is a bad day, symbolized by paralysis. According to some, it is a good day, symbolic of the ancestors. Is a good day, symbolized by destiny, fortune, and the essential characteristics of one's personality. It is a day on which marriages may be held, and sacrifices to benign deities may be made. Aj is a good day, consecrated to fertility gods, herdsmen, and domesticated animals. The day is symbolic of one's destiny as embodied in one's nagwal. Ix is a good day, sacred to the mountain and forest spirits. On this day, protection may be sought from wolves and wild predators, in favor of flocks and animals. The day is symbolic of the creative force in general, and of the earth itself. Tzolk'in is the most excellent day of all. Double offerings are made at shrines, in forests, and in caves. It is a day on which wishes may be made, forgiveness may be sought, and important matters may be finalized. Ajmik is also a very good day, sacred to the spirits that preside over good health. Noj is an auspicious day, on which good judgment may be prayed for. The day is symbolic both of humanity's amoral and moral qualities. Tijax is a good day. It is a day of verbal arguments, and a good day to confess sins. Kawik is recognized as an indifferent day or a bad day. It is symbolic of the malice of the dead. Junapu or Ajpu is an indifferent day, neither a bad or good portent, on which the power of the ancestors is embodied by the house itself. Uses. The Tzolk'in was extensively used in Mayan inscriptions and codices. Symbolism related to the Tzolk'in is also observed in the Popol Vuh. For instance, when Ixbalanque has set an impossible task for Ixquick of collecting a net full of corn from one stalk and Ixquick successfully completes it, she leaves the imprint of her net in the ground, and the day, net, is the opening of the Venus cycle which follows, Ahau. Just as her child is the heir of Hun-Hunajpur, the uses to which the ancient Maya applied the calendar are unknown. Nonetheless, modern Maya communities employ the calendar as follows. For maize cultivation. Origins. The 260-day calendar spread throughout the Mesoamerican cultural region, and it is regarded as being the oldest and most important of the calendar systems attested in the region, with an origin predating its first appearances in Maya inscriptions. The earliest evidence of this calendar comes from an apparent day sign with a dot numeral coefficient in an Olmec inscription in Oxtititlan cave, dated to circa 900 BC, and from an Olmec artifact known as the Humboldt celt from roughly the same time. Some of the next oldest calendric inscriptions are from early strata of Zapotec in the Oaxacan highlands at sites such as Monte Alban, dating from mid-1st millennium BCE. A few earlier dated inscriptions and artifacts have what appear to be calendric glyphs, such as at San Jose Mogotaran in the Olmec Gulf Coast region. However, either the dating method or the calendric nature of the glyphs are disputed by scholars. The original purpose of such a calendar, with no obvious relation to any astronomical or geophysical cycle, is not securely known, but there are several theories. The number 20 was the basis of the Maya counting system, taken from the total number of human digits. 13 symbolized the number of levels in the upper world where the gods lived, and is also cited by modern-day keepers as the number of joints in the human body. The numbers multiplied together equal 260. Barbara Tedlock studied this system in the contemporary Kaish Maya community of the municipality of Momostenango in highland Guatemala. She underwent a formal apprenticeship in calendar divination with a local adept, and was initiated as a diviner in 1976. She says, the Momostenango calendar embraces both the 260-day cycle and the 365-day solar year, with the 4 classic Maya year-bearers, or MAM, systematically linking the two. The 260-day cycle is conceived as linked firmly to worldly or earthly affairs, mirroring no astronomical period but rather the period of human gestation. Past ethnographic accounts of this cycle contain various conflicting opinions as to what its first day is, but a comparison of the present results and those of previous studies indicates that there is no fixed first day. Anthony Aveni asserts, once a Maya genius may have recognized that somewhere deep within the calendar system lay the miraculous union, the magical crossing point of a host of time cycles. 9 moons, 13 times 20, a birth cycle, a planting cycle, a Venus cycle, a sun cycle, an eclipse cycle. The number 260 was tailor-made for the Maya. Others have observed that the Venus table, in the Dresden Codex, is an accurate ephemeris for predicting Venus positions. Others have also observed a basis for the 260-day cycle in the agricultural cycle of highland Guatemala, which is also about 260 days. Aveni notes that the average duration between successive halves of the eclipse season, at 173.5 days, fits into the Tzolk'in in the ratio of 3:2. This may seem contrived, but the Maya did employ the Tzolk'in to predict positions of Venus and eclipses. Another theory is that the 260-day period is the length of human pregnancy. This is close to the average number of days between the first missed menstrual period and birth. Unlike Nagel's rule, which is 40 weeks between the last menstrual period and birth, it is postulated that midwives originally developed the calendar to predict babies' expected birth dates. Vincent Malmstrom identifies a correlation between the 260-day cycle and the 260-day gap between zenithal passages of the Sun. According to this hypothesis, the 260-day cycle originated in the narrow latitudinal band in which the Sun is vertically overhead about 12-13 August and again 260 days later, about the 30th of April, the 1st of May. This period may have been used for the planting schedule of maize. However, others object to this conception, noting that while the 260-day calendar runs continuously, the interval between autumn-spring and spring-autumn positions alternates between 260 and 105 days, and that the earliest known calendric inscriptions are from considerably further north of this zone. Consequently, this theory is not widely supported. It is of course also possible that the number 260 has multiple sources. The Tzolk'in and the New Age movement. The Tzolk'in is the basis for the modern, New Age invention of the dream spell calendar, developed by the esoteric author José Arguelles. The dream spell calendar is sometimes mistakenly identified as an authentic interpretation or extension of the original Maya calendar, although Arguelles himself acknowledges the dream spell calendar as a new and syncretic creation, inspired by elements from Mesoamerican and non-Mesoamerican sources. In 1987, before the harmonic convergence, inspired by a single paragraph of Dr. Arguelles' book, The Mayan Factor, singer, songwriter and sound healer, Illyris, translated the Tzolk'in's harmonic values into sound, with the tutelage of Barbara Hero. As during extensions of the Tzolk'in, Illyris opted for strict mathematical adherence to the Tzolk'in's fundamental structure and sequences, in order to present a truly authentic sonic expression of its inner workings. In 1995, Maria von Bosse translated the mathematical matrix of the Tzolk'in to musical notes and set them into music. The final version of the work was developed in collaboration with Hubert Bogner-Mayer in the Electronic Forsterhaus in Linz, Austria.